Zach Wilson reportedly just finished his best practice of 2022. So can we calm down about people saying Zach Wilson's going to stink because he had one practice where he threw an interception or something? That's what we're talking about in today's Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Hit it! Welcome in, everyone. My name is Jake Asman. This is the Jake Asman Show. The Jets just had one of their greatest wins in the last 20-something years, and we're going to break it all down. Zach Wilson, Robert Saleh, C.J. Mosley, Joe Douglas, Elijah Moore, Jermaine Johnson, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson. I think this is an excellent pick. A super chat, you cut the line, smash the like button down below. That's that thumbs up icon. Now, let's talk about the New York Jets. Here we go on a Tuesday. You're getting not one, but two videos today from me. If you missed it earlier, we had David Wyatt Hupton on from the UK talking all things Jets and mandatory minicamp. Check out that full conversation on the channel. If you missed it earlier, I wanted to pop in and do another video because I kept getting asked questions about Zach Wilson. Apparently last week he threw a couple interceptions in an OTA practice, and I said it really doesn't mean all that much. We don't know what the play calls were. They're working on very specific things, and ultimately they're not doing running plays. They're not wearing full pads. Let's kind of take it with a grain of salt, but you know how the Jets always get covered. There was a report, oh, Zach Wilson looks bad, and people started to freak out, and I just want people to calm down because really, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. But if we're going to cover those practices, I think it's only fair if we point out that based on several eyewitnesses, several reporters who cover the Jets for a living, Zach Wilson did go out there today and have his best practice as far as the practices that the media has seen. It's important to note the Jets have had plenty of practices throughout OTAs where the media is not allowed to be there. The NFL has media rules where you're only allowed to cover X amount of practices, and then training camp, you're allowed to cover every training camp practice. So, Zach could have been balling at some of these practices that the media happened to have not been at. What does it really mean in the grand scheme of things? I don't know if it means a whole lot, but I know this will excite Jet fans. So let's add a couple of the tweets to the screen just to give you guys the proper context here. So this is from Connor Hughes. He covers the Jets for The Athletic. His tweet was the following. This was the fifth Jets practice observed by the media of the summer. It was absolutely Zach Wilson's best. There weren't any highlight jaw-dropping balls, what a term, but he looked as comfortable, decisive, and in control as I've seen him. Finished 10 of 13 and 11 on 11. He was 13 of 16 and 7 on 7. No interceptions is the thing I'd like to note. So if NBC Roto World wants to aggregate some nonsense again, maybe aggregate this, just to be fair to Zach Wilson. Brian Costello, Jets reporter for the New York Post, he wrote, Zach Wilson had a good day today. His passes were crisp, and he looked decisive. Best practice I've seen from Garrett Wilson. He had one catch with amazing body control. Jeff Smith and Lawrence Cager keep showing up. Good to hear Smith and Cager making plays. Cager getting an opportunity to play tight end because of the injuries the Jets have at that position right now. Uzama and Ruckert are not fully healthy yet, so the Jets are keeping those guys off to the side, which means more reps for a guy like Lawrence Cager. And then finally, this tweet is from good friend of the channel, DJ Bienemy, a.k.a. the better Manish Mehta, who covers the New York Jets for the Daily News. He says, Zach Wilson is letting it spit today. Just fired a rocket in traffic to Garrett Wilson during 7 on 7. So I can keep going here, but the point is Zach had a good day. All right, there's going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. It's June. I'm just going to take a deep breath when we overreact to practice tweets, when we overreact to an interception in a training camp practice. Zach Wilson is taking all the right measures to be really good. All right, he's worked out with his receivers all offseason long. He has added weight. He's worked with his personal quarterback coach. His teammates swear he knows the playbook. His coaches swear that they've seen improved leadership qualities. He's doing everything right. So it's not about, if Zach Wilson could put it all together. To me, it's when will he put it all together? Because I have belief that he's going to take a big step in year 2. He'll make that second-year leap that we've been talking a lot about on this channel. I also thought earlier today, some comments here from Mike LaFleur were very enlightening about Zach Wilson's development. So LaFleur went into details specifically about what he's noticed the biggest differences between Zach Wilson at this time last year to where he is right now. If you missed the press conference earlier, here's the Jets offensive coordinator talking about Zach Wilson.
One for an offense, year one for a staff, year one for a rookie quarterback. There's not only did he have to learn our terminology and our system, he had to learn just the difference between the college game and the NFL game, and you're trying to simulate that in May and June, which, you know, the speed is one thing, but then you come back in August, now the speed ramps up even a little bit more. And then, so just the fact that he knows what to expect come August, come September, you don't have to talk about that as much. You just try to dial in on what matters right now, and that's, you know, making sure we are mastering our offense and our job as a quarterback, you know, and that's where I say his mindset and his focus has been, it's been really cool to watch. Very, very different than last year in terms of what I just talked about.
That's huge. That's the biggest thing. Does Zach Wilson know the playbook? Last year, the last 5 games of the season, it clicked. It clicked. We saw it click. The numbers don't back it up with like laudy passing stats because Zach Wilson was throwing to, you know, a bunch of guys that, quite frankly, you know, didn't belong on an NFL field if you're actually going to try and be a good football team. Like you had Braxton Berrios and a bunch of question marks by the end of last year. Zach was making plays with his leg. He was managing the offense. He didn't turn the ball over. We saw it click if you actually watched the games. A lot of people didn't watch the games at the end of last year. They see Zach only had 9 touchdowns. Oh, he was terrible. It doesn't tell the whole story. And that's what I've always tried to articulate here when we add nuance to the Zach Wilson year one conversation. But if you did watch the game, you saw that focus, that shift in him being more comfortable with his footwork, getting the ball out quicker. Like you saw that toward the end of last year. So the big thing going into year 2 is he's got to know the offense and he's got to be able to make decisions quick. He's got to just go out there and play and not think. He was thinking a lot early. I'm not a quarterback expert, but I think we all could see that, you know, with our untrained eyes, watching what Zach Wilson looked like the first, 7-8 games of the season a year ago before he got hurt. So to hear from LaFleur, who knows offense, to hear from, several of Zach's teammates that his leadership qualities have improved. LaFleur had the interesting tidbit when he spoke a couple weeks ago about how Zach Wilson, when he, is in the huddle, he's already dapping up guys because he knows the playbook. He knows the offense so much. Let me see if I can find that quote for those who missed it. I'm trying to save, all the LaFleur audio here of him talking about Zach Wilson. This was from a couple weeks ago. And I just think the biggest thing that you're going to see from Zach this year is just his processing speed be quicker. And when that happens, it's going to start to click for a second-year quarterback. I believe this is the audio I was referring to here from Mike LaFleur a couple weeks back.
Just in the huddle, he's so comfortable before I give him a play that he's dapping it up with everybody else, talking to him as I'm saying a play, and that just tells you right there, like, he kind of knows what is being said and then can just obviously relay it to the guy. So it's been pretty cool from all those angles.
Can I tell you, I really like Mike LaFleur. I hope he's a head coach one day because that means that he did his job with Zach Wilson. But I really just like the way he talks about offense, talks about his specific scheme, the different things a quarterback has to go through. It's a complex offense, but it's an offense that Robert Saleh has talked openly about how it's quarterback friendly when you know it. And that's why the Jets really emphasize Zach knowing this offense. And it sounds like he does. So when you hear the stats today, and yes, it's practice stats. So obviously I want to warn everyone, it doesn't mean all that much, but people care about this stuff. So when you hear Zach Wilson went 10 of 13 and 11 on 11, you do the math here, and I see our guy Dark Soldier did it in the comments section. 10 of 13 from a completion percentage standpoint is 77%. And they 13 of 16 and 7 on 7, that is 81%. Zach Wilson will not complete 77 or 81% of his passes in the regular season. If he does that, that'd be an NFL record. But he certainly has to get that completion percentage up from where it was a year ago. Like, Zach Wilson, to me, is a really accurate quarterback. Some of the issues he had at the beginning of last year, to me, was just growing pains of learning a complex system, playing against a really good defensive schedule. It wasn't easy for Zach as a rookie on a bad team with a first-year head coach, a first-year OC. Zach's got to get the completion percentage up. If he gets his completion percentage up from 55.6 and gets it to, let's say he raises it 10%, that's going to make a huge difference in his performance. So getting that completion percentage up, that comes down to just knowing the offense. It also comes down to the fact that, well, for starters, look at the skill position players that they have added for Zach Wilson, going into the season. I mean, when you say it out loud, and someone said this earlier, I forget which great listener of mine pointed this out. When you talk about the Jets and remove Jets from the name and just look at the roster, this is a talented roster specifically on offense. I challenge anyone who thinks the Jets are always going to be bad to tell me which players on offense are really bad. Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios, Elijah Moore, Breece Hall, Michael Carter, Tyler Conklin, CJ Uzama, Jeremy Ruckert. Tell me which one of those skill position players are bad. Tell me on an offensive line last year that Pro Football Focus said was the 11th best in the NFL that is adding Mekhi Becton to it and adding a Pro Bowler in Laken Tomlinson. Tell me where there's a weakness on that offensive line. Even everyone's favorite punching bag at times, Connor McGovern, graded out as an above-average center a season ago. So, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Jets are going to be, the 2013 Broncos offense with the great Adam Gase making Peyton Manning into a Hall of Famer, as we all know. But this team has more talent than most nationally realize, and it's going to come down to Zach taking that leap. But they've put the right pieces around them. I believe they have the right coach around them in Mike LaFleur calling the offense. So, I'm excited, man. It's okay to be excited about your young quarterback. Like, if you actually watch the games, you saw some potential from Zach Wilson down the stretch that should excite every Jet fan. So, that's ultimately what it comes down to right now with the Jets. Zach being able to process information quicker, because I think that will be the biggest thing that will translate from year one to year two. So, with that being said, I'll open it up now to some comments, questions. What do you make of the reporting about Zach Wilson today, that he had a good day, his passes were crisp, he looked decisive? That's what I like hearing. I like seeing DJ say that he's letting it spit today. I'm not cool enough to say something like that, but DJ is. So love to see it. What does it all mean? It doesn't mean all that much in the grand scheme of things, but if we're going to cover Zach Wilson when he has a shaky OTA practice, I think it's only fair to note when he has a really good practice as well. But big picture thoughts on Zach. It's okay to be excited about your young quarterback going from year one to year two. We'll open it up now to some comments and questions. You could write those in. Super chats, of course, you guys know the drill. They'll cut the line. If you're a Jet fan and you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for, baby? We're giving you 2 videos today. We give you Jets content pretty much every day on this channel. We got mandatory minicamp this week, training camp next month. Before you know it, opening day, we're going to have you covered if you're a fan of the JETS, Jets. Before we get to some comments and questions here, let's talk sports betting. BUSR is my official sports book. If you're in a state where gambling is not legal, you could use BUSR. I want to emphasize that. It's an international sports book. BUSR.com/Asman. Use my link and sign up. And guess what? When you sign up and make your deposit within the first 24 hours after you signed up, so you sign up, and then if you make a deposit within the first 24 hours after you make your username, which takes 2 minutes, you're going to be able to double your deposit for the next 24 hours. So that's an awesome promotion they're running. Sense of urgency. Get your bets in. We got the Stanley Cup final tomorrow. We got the NBA finals resuming on Thursday. The Yankees and the Mets, they never lose. They're both in action. Start betting on sports today. It's BUSR.com/Asman. All right, let's open it up. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. VR says, Ralph Vacchiano says, it does seem like Zach's making quicker decisions and some really strong throws. Processing speed, to me, is the number one thing you want to look to see from Zach Wilson. That was why he struggled early on. He was thinking too much. He wasn't just letting it rip. Like, it was mental. When he was having issues completing a screen pass or checking it down, that was mental. It's not like Zach had those problems at BYU. Like, let's go. Oh no, my ice cream says, Jake, happy I can actually catch the show live instead of catching it at night. Shout out to you. Oh no, my ice cream. To me, Zach seems like he played the realest quarterback out of all the rookies. The others played a very toned down playbook. Look, I didn't watch every game of Lawrence or Mac Jones or Fields. I watched every game of Davis Mills, and I could tell you that Davis Mills is a traditional pocket quarterback. Zach Wilson has skill set that got him picked number 2 in the draft. I mean, that's really it. Like, basically, if Zach could harness his talents, he's one of the best players in the NFL. That's how the Jets feel about him. And you could see it when you watch him. So I can't speak to all the other rookies, but Zach's physical traits are off the charts. It's mastering the offense, mastering the mental side of the playbook, as Mark Sanchez talked about last week. That is the biggest thing that he's going to have to do to take that leap from year 1 to year 2. Let's see. Jets forever. It's always great to hear from America's favorite robot Jets fan. Zach can go 35 of 35. Let's hope. I hope you're right, Jets forever. I think it's unlikely. VR says, good news also with Becton seen on the field. Yes, Mekhi Becton will speak to the media tomorrow. I'm sure I'll talk about this more in a episode that will drop on the channel tomorrow. But Becton is there. Positive signs if you want to look for it. He's not wearing any sleeves on, which Brian Costello notes when O-linemen are wearing sleeves. Usually that's a sign they're trying to lose weight at practice to try and sweat it out. He wasn't doing that. Wasn't wearing any knee brace or anything on his leg. So it looks like Mekhi Becton is healthy. The Jets are obviously taking it slow with Mekhi working himself back from a surgically repaired injury he suffered, of course. But good sign that Mekhi is there, and we'll hear from him tomorrow. Larry says, Zach Wilson is even impressing the Cosbag. Yes, Brian Costello. I'm not going to call him Cosbag, Larry. Brian Costello says, Zach Wilson had a good day today. His passes were crisp, and he looked decisive. I also like hearing that Garrett Wilson's balling out. I'm excited for that guy. Best receiver in the draft. Let's not forget that. Christopher says, Jets just need Zach to be a top 50% quarterback in the league. Anything better is gravy, and the Jets will have a successful season. If Zach can go from a bad quarterback last year overall to a quarterback that is league average, I think we would sign for that right now. Christopher says, Dark Soldier's much better than Jets Forever. Well, Dark Soldier is actually a person. Jets Forever is a robot. Rich says that I'm getting him ready to run through a wall. Well, don't do that, Rich, but I appreciate your support. Devin says, Jake, Ithaca is boring right now. What do you mean? Ithaca in the summer is beautiful, Devin. Also, shout out to Devin. He apparently plays video games with my brother, so I got a chance to talk to Devin over Xbox Live or PlayStation, whatever it was, the other night. Huge Jet fan. Shout out to Devin. Skills Baby says, Wilson was a gunslinger today. Well, apparently he was letting it spit today, which I'm going to assume means he was balling. Gabriel says, Garrett Wilson has also been making plays. Keep hearing about his body control, which is what he flashed in college. Body control and speed. I mean, Garrett Wilson provides an element to this receiver room the Jets just don't have. Garrett Wilson ran a 4.38. I can't wait for the training camp battles between him and Sauce. That's going to be fun to watch. Nishan says, is there any buzz with Garrett? Well, we were just talking about it, Nishan. I just saw your comment. Yeah, Garrett Wilson apparently had a great practice today. Jacob Klein says, how does Carl Lawson look? He is not currently practicing yet. They're taking it easy. He should be good to go for the start of training camp. He's working off to the side with the trainers like all the other injured Jets are. Rhymes on Deck says, it's cool to see. Not the biggest deal. Just happy to see some positive stories about Zach. I believe in him and ready to see our team win. Yeah, look, I can't come on here and be like, the training camp or the OTA stuff is a non-story and then be like, look at Zach today. I'm just trying to cover it fairly. Like, for everyone that says, oh, well, Zach threw an interception in an OTA, it's the end of the world. There's a day like today where he looked like a franchise quarterback. So he's going to have bad days. He's going to have good days. And once again, I want to note something here, and Connor talks about it here in this tweet. This was only the 5th practice that was observed by the media this summer. They've been working out since early April. Now, I haven't been on the field in every single day, but there have been days where the media is not there that Zach Wilson could have sucked or it could have been great. We weren't there. We don't know. Christopher says, sounds like Zach has been taking more risk in practice and trying stuff out, probably why he looked rusty. This is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. VR says, I hope Woody Johnson's tweet about the 80s helmets gains some steam when we see some throwbacks in a few games. Bring back the helmets. These are the helmets the Jets should wear in their throwback. I'll even stand up for the people. Let's go. Bought this on eBay. Eastern Division. That's how old this shirt is. Eastern Division. Not AFC East. The Eastern Division. Let's keep going here. Comments, questions, anything else that's on your mind. Steven says Ithaca is gorgeous. That's right. Actually, you got to spell it Ithaca is and then Gorges, as in the gorgeous. of Ithaca. But you're right. Ithaca in the summer is beautiful. Ithaca in the fall is beautiful. The problem with Ithaca, as someone who went there for 4 years, the problem with Ithaca is when it's cold as hell and the wind chill is worse than Antarctica. When I was there, my sophomore year at Ithaca College, there was famously a day where it was colder in Ithaca, New York than it was in Antarctica with the wind chill. That puts it in perspective. Would I recommend it, though? I would. I had a great time. Michael Clemens says, Garrett Wilson's an acrobat in the air. And you are a freight train on the ground, Michael Clemens. Julian says, what's up, Jake? What's up with Sauce? How was his practice? I didn't see anything about Sauce that was notable from any of the beat guys. So I don't know if Sauce did anything good or anything bad. I didn't see anything that truly stood out. James says, ESPN doing Zach dirty, putting him at number 3 second-year quarterback after Trevor and Mac. Are they doing him dirty, though, James? Trevor Lawrence was the first pick in the draft. There's just higher expectations for him. He was the generational guy. Can't miss all this. And Mac Jones was statistically much better than Zach Wilson last year. So I don't think ESPN's doing Zach dirty at all. I also don't think it truly matters. If Zach takes a leap, he'll take a leap. There's a scenario where all three of those guys we're discussing here could be good quarterbacks. It doesn't have to be one or the other. RA says, year 2, better skill dudes. Everything slows down for Zach. I see a big step forward. I do too. Steven says, upstate New York is beautiful. The city is a bleep hole. Look, I always got love for New York City, but I will say upstate New York definitely is beautiful, especially central New York. I got love for Ithaca because, well, that's where I went to school. Daniel says, Jake, the offensive talent you talked about, it's all based on projection. As far as Wilson practice, we were talking practice. Daniel, I agree. We're talking practice, but some of you Jet fans were calling into my show and writing in about the disaster, the horror that was Zach Wilson's one OTA where he threw a couple interceptions during the red zone drills. So we're giving you the other side of it. When he plays well, he plays well. What does it all really mean? I don't think it really means anything. But I will say the stuff that LaFleur talked about that we played in this very video, if you missed it, go back towards the beginning. That stuff I think is important. The processing speed is the biggest key for Zach to take that leap from year 1 to year 2. Kelly Wilson says, Sauce got beat by Davis. He's going to get beat, guys. He's a rookie corner. We were spoiled with Darrelle Revis. Cornerbacks give up completions. It's going to happen. It's also practice, so let's take it easy. Sauce apparently has played very well at some of these other practices that have been open. Larry says he used to have the shirt I'm wearing. Long time ago, Larry. By the way, Jet fans, I recommend you go on eBay if you want like old school throwback gear. There's stuff for like $10 or less. It's pretty good. Melvin says, think our D is much improved. It will keep us in every game, top half of the league at least. Hope you're right, Melvin. Deshanti says, when it comes to corners, no news tends to be good news. You're right about that. Darrelle Revis made a Hall of Fame career out of having very little stats in a lot of games. Why? Because no one even looked his way. Michael says, Jake, DC or Marvel? Marvel, without question. Huge Marvel guy. I can't say there's too many levels to Marvel. I am a very big Marvel fan, but I'm not at the level of like the diehards. But I like Marvel a lot. The very few movies I actually go to the theaters for, the Marvel movies was always one of them. Rhymes on Deck says, I'd rather see Elijah Moore in the slot, if anything, but I like the versatility that we have. See, I think Braxton Berrios, when push comes to shove, is going to play the most in the slot. I really do. I think Berrios is going to have a career year now with the Jets. He's got the cohesion and the chemistry with Zach Wilson. LaFleur loves Berrios. I think Berrios emerges as the almost every down slot guy. What I like about Moore is that he could play the slot. Garrett Wilson can play the slot. Even Corey Davis, if you look back last year, he actually played the slot on a bunch of different routes. I like the versatility they have there, but I do think Braxton Berrios will make a huge impact in the slot. But I think Elijah Moore is a guy that can do everything on the inside and the outside. Let's see. Comments, questions, everything else that is on your mind. We'll talk about it here. Kelly Wilson talking smack to Jets Forever. How does it make you feel that Corey Davis beat Sauce on a long ball? PJ says, Jake, what is Chrome doing? Is it possible to get an interview from him? I'm guessing you mean Cromartie, right, PJ? I'd love to have Crow on the show. He's one of my favorite Jets. I don't know. He was coaching at Texas A&M. I don't know if he's still with the Aggies. I could look into that for you. But I'd love to have Cromartie on the show. That'd be great. Tomorrow, by the way, we're having former New York Jets running back John Nitty on the show. He's got a new book out for Father's Day, and he obviously played on that 1982 AFC Championship team. He's very close with Marty Lyons. He's on Marty Lyons' foundation board. So we'll talk 80s Jets and current day Jets with John Nitty, who is still a season ticket holder to this day. VR says Marvel, Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite superhero of all time. I've always been a Spider-Man guy. So I guess that makes me a Marvel guy, but Spider-Man was not always Marvel, as we know, until Marvel bought the rights to it. But like I grew up on the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. VR says I was part of NYPIRG. So I used to DJ all the SUNY schools. Oswego, New Paltz, Plattsburgh. Love that. Some good schools there in the SUNY system. COVID says the dog days of content until training camp. Yes, that's why beat writers love to report on practice that they get a chance to cover. Why? Because fans eat it up. Help save their jobs, get clicks. You got to cover things that people care about. People care about this stuff, so they cover. But no doubt, when you try and do a daily New York Jets YouTube show and it's June 14th, you're definitely trying to grind with content until you can get to training camp in July. Now, this week we got mandatory minicamp, so there's plenty of stuff coming out of Florham Park, New Jersey. We'll have the Jets Drive videos coming out on Thursday this week as well. So there'll be stuff to talk about, but that's why we like to have different guests on and do all sorts of fun things on the channel to try and come up with content. Dark Soldier says, I'm Spider-Man. My profile pic proves it. You are Spider-Man, Dark Soldier. Melvin says, Connie was the best interview. It was gold. Great job, Jake. Yeah, thanks again to everyone who took time to watch the conversation we had last Friday with Connie Carberg. If you haven't watched it yet, one of my favorite interviews we've ever done on this channel. Connie is awesome. She's full of energy. Her knowledge is off the charts. Incredible stories. I mean, her dad and uncle was the team doctor for the Jets when Joe Namath was the quarterback. I mean, that's how far back we're going here. So just an incredible conversation, and appreciate everyone for the kind words. And Connie certainly appreciates it as well. She reached out, and we're going to get her on again soon. It was so much fun having her on the show. Gregory says, would you extend George Fant and at what cost? I don't know the exact cost. I do suspect they will extend him, though, Gregory. I think they'll tack on an extra year to the money he's making now, maybe give him a slight raise, and that probably gets it done. Douglas loves deals that get you out of a contract after 2 years, so I think they tack on another year to his current contract and give him a raise with an out after the second year. I think that's how it's going to play out. Rhymes on Deck says, Crow was a great athlete. Crow is very similar to Sauce Gardner, according to Mike Tannenbaum, who obviously made the trade for Antonio Cromartie with the Jets. That was his player comp for Sauce. I think Sauce could be better than Crow, but let's not downplay Antonio Cromartie. The guy was a very good player. VR says, I'm an old school DJ. My pro pick proves it. LOL. Dark Soldier wants to know, what type of music do you spin, VR? James says, Flight 22 is going to be good. Did you see the new trailer yet, Jake? I did. It looks exciting. I'm excited to watch it. I think the Jets media team does an outstanding job with that stuff. So I will be watching 100%. I'll probably get to it at some point on Friday because I know it's coming out Thursday night, but I'll be locked into the NBA Finals. Nolan says, it's vacation time for media heads. Where are you going, Jake? Now I'm going nowhere, Nolan. I'm going nowhere. I got a day job. So I still got to be on the radio every day here in Houston. I just took 2 days off last week to attend a wedding back on Long Island. So I'll be here for a little while. And then in late July, I'll take some time off. First week of August, I'll take some time off. But we'll still have Jets content almost every day on the channel. Like I'll pre-tape stuff in advance. And, should anything break, I'll go all Jet Central on you guys and do the old phone video. Whatever I need to do to make sure that we keep you up to speed on this channel. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Jets Forever says, Mike T said he thought Sauce was the best player in the draft. I don't know if that is exactly what he said, Jets Forever. I'll take your word for it. He could have definitely said that. I know he loves Sauce. He was advocating for Sauce Gardner to be the second player taken. So he might think Sauce is the best player in the draft. We'll find out. PJ says, who needs Hard Knocks when we got One Jets Drive? See, I love One Jets Drive, and the Jets media team does a good job with that. You get more, though, from Hard Knocks. You just do. Hard Knocks is, I mean, it's a lot longer. It's HBO. It's a bigger deal. But it's cool that we have One Jets Drive if you're a fan. But nothing will top 2010 Jets on Hard Knocks. I mean, we still talk about how good that series was because of Rex and all the characters that were on the 2010 Jets. And that team was great. That team was on the cusp of going to a Super Bowl for the second year in a row. Brian says, I believe the Jets are going to shock the world. No brakes, all gas. Hit it and like. Love your show, Jake. Thanks for doing this. Brian, thanks for watching, man. I hope you're right. I think you should be excited if you're a Jet fan. Iowan Jets fan says, I'm Zach Wilson from 10 years in the future. My profile pic proves it. Zach Wilson really hit puberty in that photo there, Iowan. My goodness. Dark Soldier says, let's go eat a G-damn snack. Rex made that quote famous. I was at the training camp practice in 2010 when the Jets went back to Hofstra for the day to hang out with the Long Island faithful. Remember, they were eating a bunch of cheeseburgers on the field? That was the inspiration for Rex's G-damn snack speech. I was right there when they were eating the cheeseburgers on the field. It was incredible. Rhymes on Deck says, it's cool to see Rich Eisen narrate a Flight 2022. One Jets Drive is killing it. Yeah, it's cool that they got Rich Eisen involved. We all know Rich is a huge Jets fan and represents the Jet fan base on the NFL Network. Anthony says, how long is mandatory minicamp? I believe till Thursday, but what I've seen teams do, and the Texans did this earlier today, they usually give players off the last day. Like they only do 2 full days. So I'm going to confirm it right now. I'm going to go to my email here with the NFL, and I'll tell you what the Jets' official date line is. Let's see. New York Jets. So training camp for the Jets while I'm here, that starts 7/28 for the Jets. So July 28th is training camp. I want NFL minicamp. Hold on. Let me confirm it right now. NFL minicamp dates. Hold on. I'll get it. Sorry it's taking so long. I believe it's till Thursday, but I don't want to say anything that's inaccurate. Can I really not find this? Of course, when you need it, you can't find it. NFL communications. Where is this? Well, I'll look it up here in a second. I'm going to give it another 10 seconds here, and it's just terrible YouTube right here. I can't find it. I can't find the email. I think it's till Thursday, though, but it's all good. New Jersey says, sorry for wasting everyone's time there. Jake, get Action Bronson on your show. I'd love to. I would love to. Edward says, do you really have to read out loud the corny comments? Well, it's kind of what we do, Edward. We open the show with a monologue, and then we read comments and questions and take calls from Jet fans. Edward says the show is corny as well. All right. Well, you don't have to watch. No one's forcing you. Let's see. CT Bay says, we could beat the Browns and the Steelers. Definitely rather have the Ravens offense in week 1. Start 2-2. Find a way to go 2-2. Deshaun Watson's not playing week 2. You're at home week 3. You're facing Kenny Pickett or Mitch Trubisky week 4. Find a way to start 2-2. Michael says, saw a list of fantasy breakouts this year. ZW wasn't on the list despite Justin Fields being there. Elijah Moore wasn't on the list despite Kadarius Toney and Rashad Bateman being there. Disrespectful. I think it's a silly list, but there's also a bunch of lists I could find you of people saying Elijah Moore is a breakout star and Zach Wilson's the quarterback to watch in year 2. So depends on where you get your list from. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, no? Also, I'm still trying to find the minicamp schedule here, and I really can't find the exact dates. And I was just looking at this the other day. It's really bothering me. Oh, well. Let's see. Leo says, we love the show. Ignore the haters. We'll be all right. Melvin says, get Carly on the show. Carly, are you watching? Trevor says, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Brent says, we start 3-1. Budster says 4-0 be better. I think 2-2 is more realistic than 4-0, Budster, but you won't find a happier person in America than me if the Jets are 4-0 somehow. James says NFL Total Access predicted the Jets to go like 3-14 this year. Disrespect. See, here's the thing. One guy on that show predicted the Jets to go 3-14. Another guy, a different night, that show was on the air. His name is David Carr, predicted the Jets to go to the playoffs this year. So it all depends on where you get your info from. Everything is subjective, as Sean notes here in the comment section. Brian says Brady Quinn has Zach Wilson envy. Brady Quinn, he's going to be proven wrong very quickly. If Zach Wilson wins 2 games this year, he will have more career wins than Brady Quinn had in his NFL career. Brady Quinn was a first-round pick. Just pointing that out. Ryan says, we play a lot of rookie head coaches this year. Do you think Saleh can dismantle them because he was just one? Look, Saleh's got to have a much better year 1 to year 2. I mean, it depends on when you're playing these guys, right? Like the Jets are playing the Broncos. They got a first-year head coach. The Broncos are a much better team than the Jets, so I don't know how much the first-year head coach will truly matter in that game. When they play Miami, though, first division game of the year, you're at MetLife. There should be an advantage there. You should have beat the Miami Dolphins at least once last year. You were in competitive games against them twice, and it just the way the Jets lost to Miami twice last year really bothered me. There was wins there for them to take, and they couldn't do it. You play them at home, week 5 of the season, win that game when they have a first-year head coach. PJ says Tebow was better than Quinn. He was. Tim Tebow won more than Brady Quinn. Dark Soldier says Quinn is still not over BYU beating Notre Dame 20 years ago. Justin says, I hope McDermott never sees the field again. The only way you want McDermott out there on the field is if the Jets are resting their starters or it's the preseason. In a perfect world, Becton is healthy at a tackle spot and George Fant is healthy at the other tackle spot. Thank you to Nick for looking it up for me. OTA rookie minicamp. He just copy and pasted all the info here that I had in my email that I couldn't find. June 7th through June 10th. I don't see the date here. The comment got cut off, Nick. I need you to repost this. I believe, though, just to confirm, it's the 14th through the 16th would be mandatory minicamp. But I'm guessing the Jets are going to give their players off the 16th. That's usually how it works. Rich says, imagine the Jets go 4-0. I can't imagine that. I don't know what that feels like. When was the last time the Jets started the season 4-0? I got to think. I mean, they started 3-0 in 2009 with Rex and Sanchez. When was the last time the Jets started 4-0? They didn't start 4-0 in 2010. They lost week 1 that year. And they finished 11-5. Someone look up the last time the Jets started 4-0 on the season. PJ says, do you think Becton is going to show up? He showed up today. He's there. Kai Becton is there. He'll speak to the media tomorrow. It's mandatory, and he is there. John says, bro, footage of Becton at mandatory minicamp. Becton looks very overweight. We can't speculate on Mekhi Becton's weight. I think that's irresponsible. We don't know how much he weighs. I'm sure he'll be asked it tomorrow. But we don't know how much he weighs. Now, Breece Hall was asked about meeting Mekhi Becton for the first time, and he says, I didn't realize how big he was. I mean, Mekhi Becton is a large human being. He's a mammoth. That doesn't mean he can't be a really good football player. Skill set wise, listening to LaFleur talk about the talent of Becton was very encouraging. Also, for those curious, Sauce Gardner said he paid DJ Reed $50K for number 1. Gardner wired the money to DJ Reed. He did not use Venmo. Jets Forever says, we're going 20-0. We got Zach and Sauce. Kelly says 2000 was the last time, 4-0. So there you go, the year 2000. It's been a while. Ryan says, I got really into the Jets in 2016. All I've really known is failure. That's tough. June says, Jake, do you know why I'm excited about the season? Because we're expected to be one of the worst teams, and that's when we're actually good. History has shown this. When the Jets have had low expectations. There have been moments in their history they have overachieved. Recent history, too, within the last 20 years. Until Adam Gase, or I guess, you know what? No, until Gase, every Jets first-year head coach had a winning season. Even Bulls went 10-6 year one. Should have went to the playoffs that year, but you get the point. Obviously, Saleh last year did not have a winning season, but did you really expect him to? So this team's going to be improved. The level of which they're improved, that's the biggest question we don't know. Mike says, if Becton is in shape, weight is not an issue. I'll read you some Samini observations here about Mekhi Becton for those who are maybe not on social media and didn't see. If you're curious about Mekhi Becton, this is what Rich Samini noted about Becton from practice today. Becton, I would say, is probably the second biggest story behind how does Zach Wilson look. As expected, Becton did not practice, presumably because of his surgically repaired knee. He was limited to light exercise with the other injured players. He wasn't wearing a brace or sleeve on his knee. I'm not going to guess his weight. Becton is expected to speak to reporters tomorrow. So let's find out. I don't know. I could put some videos up of Mekhi Becton working out, and I could say, see, he looks great. We'll find out. He's got to be ready for training camp. That is ultimately what matters here. I'll tell you what. I thought Becton looked pretty good here. I'm not an O-line expert, but you tell me. Mekhi Becton looked pretty good here, no? He looked like he was in shape. John says, that's my point. He's not in shape. He looks fat. He's a big dude, man. I mean, O-linemen are fat by their just body types. They're big dudes. They're 300-plus pound grown men. That's what it's ultimately going to come down to. Can Becton be in shape when it matters? Is he good to go? He looked good to me. I'm not an O-line expert, though. Iowan Jet fan wants to know, when was the last time you saw an O-lineman with a six-pack? Never. Never. Robert says, as a 19-year-old lifelong Jets fan, this is the most excited I've been for a while. If you're 19, Robert, then like the last time the Jets were good, 11 years ago, you were a young kid. So I'm hoping for you, you get to see some winning football this year. MM Tube says he didn't look fat in that video. Look, I'm not a weight expert, but I don't think Mekhi Becton looked fat here. I'll put it back on the screen. I mean, he's big by nature. Like even when Mekhi Becton was dominating folks as a rookie at times, or when he played at Louisville, he's a big dude. Right? He's listed at 6'7", 360 pounds. He's a big dude. I don't think this video was from March either, though, John. I see you're talking about that in the comments. I don't believe this video was from March. I could be wrong, but even if it is from March, he'd be in even better shape now than he would have been back in March. RJ Jets fan wants to know, what did Wilson do? He looked good? Based on the reports, Zach Wilson balled out today. What does it really mean at the end of the day? Not a whole lot. But if we're going to cover Zach Wilson when he has a quote-unquote bad practice in front of the media, let's also note when he apparently plays really well. Kaz saying Zach Wilson had a good day. His passes were crisp and he looked decisive. And my favorite tweet from DJ Bieniemy of the New York Daily News, Zach Wilson is letting it spit today. So there's your Zach Wilson report for those who just tuned in late. I appreciate all of you for watching. I got to run. I got a radio show to go plan for. This was the second video we dropped on the channel today. So thanks for taking the time to watch today's show. If you're a Jet fan and you haven't hit the subscribe button yet on the right-hand side of your screen, what are you waiting for? Please like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. Thank you guys for watching. I'll have more content throughout the week. We'll get you up to date on anything that happens at mandatory minicamp this week, including Mekhi Becton's first comments since returning back to the Jets. That will happen tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Appreciate all of you for taking the time to tune in. Hope everyone has a great rest of their Tuesday. And I'll talk to you guys soon. So long.